Welcome back to online classes in biology. Today, we will discuss a lesson in biology of class 7th. The name of the lesson is Nutrition in Animals. When we say nutrition, the total organisms can be divided into two groups based on whether the organisms are able to synthesize their own food material or whether they are dependent upon other organisms. So in that way, we divide the organisms into two groups. One group of organisms which prepare their own food. Let me share you. One group of organisms which prepare their own food, they are called autotrophs. So autotrophs are the organisms which prepare their own food. Now under this category, all green plants come. So all green plants can synthesize their own food material. Whereas the other group of organisms which cannot synthesize their own food material but depend upon these autotrophs, they are called as heterotrophs. Heterotrophs. Heterotrophs means they cannot synthesize their own food material, but they depend upon autotrophs for food. Now under this heterotrophs, all animals come. All animals come under heterotrophs. So we also come under heterotrophs. So autotrophs, heterotrophs. Total organisms are divided into two categories. So since plants are synthesizing their own food material, and they are called autotrophs. Not only they synthesize their own food material, they synthesize the food material for all other organisms also. So that is why the plants are also called as producers. Also called as producers. Whereas the animals are called as consumers. Animals are called as consumers. Here, the organisms which synthesize their own food materials are called producers, and those which depend upon the producers, they are called heterotrophs or consumers. Now, again, when we come to the animals, all animals cannot directly depend upon the plants. There are animals like deer, cow, buffalo, sheep, goat. They directly eat the plant material. So all animals cannot eat the grass, and those organisms which directly feed or directly depend upon plants or their plant materials, plant products, they are called as herbivores. Herbs means plants, ores means eater. So herbivores means those organisms which directly depend upon plants or plant material. They are herbivores, like you are seeing here a goat or a sheep, a deer. All these are herbivores. The another group of organisms, they don't directly eat the grass, but they eat the other animals. Say if you take a tiger, if you take a lion, the lion or tiger, they will not eat the grass or they will not eat the fruits. So they kill the other animals like rabbit, like deer, like sheep. So they kill other animals and eat the flesh of other animals. And those organisms are called as carnivores. So though they are killing the other animals, but the other animals in turn depend upon the plants only. So indirectly, the carnivores also depend upon plants only for food. If there are no herbivores, there are no carnivores. So carnivores is another group of organisms which depend upon the herbivores for their food. But there are certain organisms, like even if you take human beings, we eat plant material also, and we also eat the flesh of other animals, then what do we called? So we are called, or we come under category called omnivores. So those organisms which eat the herbivores or consume the herbivores and carnivores, and they are called as omnivores. Omni means both meat and plant eaters. Both meat and plant eaters are come under omnivores. Omnivores. So what are the categories? Herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. Well, now let us see what is nutrition. What is the definition that we can give for the nutrition? So a nutrition is the entire process by which an organism obtain energy from food for growth, for maintenance, and repair of damaged tissues. So the purpose for which we are taking food materials is also given here in this definition. So we take the food material for energy. See, if you don't take food for 1 day or 2 days, you will not be able to walk properly, come out from your house properly, or you cannot be able to work. So that means you need energy for doing work or for walking, for running, for whatever you are doing. So that energy we get from the food only. So that is, food is the main source for our energy. Then food is also required for growth. And not only growth, there are so many other processes which are involved in maintenance of our body. So for all these maintenance of our body and growth and repair, maintenance, reproduction, for all the purposes, food is the source. So that is why we have to obtain the food, we have to take the food. If you do not take the food, then we are not able to grow, we are not able to maintain our body, we are not able to repair our damaged tissues, etc., and replace tissues. So that is how we can understand the importance of the food. So then the food that we are taking, consists the nutrients, as many as 6 types of nutrients. So what are the nutrients that are present in our food? So first of all, what is a nutrient? The food that we are taking consists 6 types of nutrients. But before that, what is a nutrient? A nutrient can be defined a substance that are required, the substances that are required for the nourishment of an organism. The substances that are required for the nourishment of an organism. So whatever the substance that is required for the nourishment of an organism can be called as nutrient. Now let us see, these are the nutrients. Number 1, carbohydrate. Number 2, protein. Number 3, fats. Number 4, vitamins. Number 5, minerals. Number 6, water. So though water doesn't give directly energy, but this is also considered as nutrients. It is compulsory, it is required. So now these are the 6 categories of nutrients: carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals. So the food that we are taking, whether it is fruits, whether it is vegetables, whether it is food grains, whether it is meat or egg, all these food materials will contain these nutrients. But these nutrients which we get through the food cannot be directly absorbed into the body. The food materials cannot be directly absorbed into the body. The food that we enter into our body has to be broken down, because these carbohydrates or proteins or fats or vitamins or minerals are very complex organic substances. So these complex organic substances are to be broken down into simpler molecules. Then only the simpler molecules will be absorbed by our body. So this is this total process, right from taking food to the completion digestion. There are different steps are there. That steps I will give you at the end of this presentation. So what you have to understand is, the food that we are taking consists 6 varieties of nutrients. These 6 varieties of nutrients are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, and also water is required. And these are complex organic molecules, large molecules. These are to be broken down into simpler molecules. That process will take place in the digestion. Okay. Now let us see, how do we obtain food or eating food? The method of procuring food or the method of eating the food is not similar, it's not uniform in all the organisms. There are different organisms in the nature. The different organisms will follow different methods in procuring the food, in catching the food, in consuming the food. Now you are seeing there is a chameleon, there is a rabbit, there is a butterfly, there is a cow and a snail, and this is a flamingo and cat. Different organisms you are seeing here, but all these organisms, the way of procuring food, the way of catching food, their way of getting food varies from one organism to another organism. So before we go into the details of how digestion takes place, how absorption takes place, how excretion takes place, how egestion takes place, and we will try to understand how these different organisms are procuring their food. Let me present you. Now you are seeing a snail. How the snail will get its food, and the method by which the snail is eating or snail is getting its food is called scraping. This is the method called scraping. It is scraping the leaves of lettuce. Now you can see this, how the snail is scraping. The method of procuring food is called as scraping. The snail is feeding on leaves, and this snail slowly goes on scraping the leaf material and it swallows. So scraping is one method of eating. For example, you will see in snail. Actually, snail will be inside the shell. Only when it wants to take food, the body will come out. If there is any problem it faces, as far as its safety is concerned, it will go inside the shell. The shell is made up of calcium carbonate. That's how the process is going, scraping. And slowly cutting the, slowly consuming the leaf. So this process of eating in nail is called as scraping. Now, before that, we'll see another second method that you find in the butterflies is called sucking. So butterflies or many such insects, even a hummingbird, will sit on the flowers, and with its this is called proboscis. Through this proboscis, a tube-like structure through which it sucks the sweet nectar, the sweet liquid that is present in the flowers called nectar. So this process of taking food is sucking. So sucking is a method of procuring food. You find it in butterflies. Now swallowing. This method, they take the total organism into the mouth. This is chameleon. See, the tongue of the chameleon, it can protrude out to 1 feet distance. It can protrude its tongue out for 1 feet distance. So when it comes nearer to its prey, less than 1 feet distance, then it shoots its tongue out and by the time the tongue touches the insect, it will be sticked, and then it will be taking back its tongue, and the uh, insect will be coming into its mouth. So this is called swallowing. Now another method, this is called flamingo, filtering method. Filtering method. It takes the water into mouth and filters it out, and whatever the insect, whatever the food particles that are there, it will take, and remaining water it will send out. So this method, which you find in some of the birds, even in fishes, etc., it's called filtering method. For example, what you are seeing in flamingo birds, how the birds are filtering the water through its beak. See, water, they take it and send it out, and when in this process they'll get the food materials, maybe insects or small fishes, etc. Then next method, you are seeing lapping. It is called lapping. This method is called lapping. It takes place in cats or dogs. In your house also you can see, while cat or dog uh, drinking its milk, it sends its tongue slightly, slightly bends the tongue backwards, and as we use the spade to dig out the soil, so the cat is using its tongue to get the milk. So this process of getting food is called lapping. Now nibbling. You can see in the rabbit is eating small pieces with its incisors. And this method of eating is called nibbling. It's called nibbling. Now, a very interesting, there is one more interesting method of nutrition is there. See, whatever that we eat, whether it is rabbit or sheep, whether it is rabbit, sheep or goat, whatever that we eat, that food goes into the stomach. And in the stomach, of course, the food will be digested. But here one interesting example is there in starfish. The starfish which lives in seawater, or sea stars also you can call. So in this starfish, in all of us, we take the food that goes into the stomach, but here stomach comes out. In the starfish, stomach comes out and sucks the food. Now you can see this interesting method of eating that you find in the starfish, where the stomach comes out and sucks the food. Actually, the starfishes which live in the water, they eat on bivalves. Bivalve means the shells, the two shells like will be there, and especially those organisms which belong to mollusks, maybe that is shelled organisms. The organism is very soft, very delicate. So to protect this delicate body, they secrete a hard shell over the body. So that shell is made up of calcium carbonate. So for example, a bivalve, which we call it as unio or snail. So it will be like this. Whenever it wants only, it can relax its muscles and the organism comes out and takes food. And whenever there is a threat, there is a danger, then it is closed. The two cells will be closed like this. But the starfish uses its arms, and the small structures what you are seeing, they are called tentacles. So with the help of these tentacles and the arms, it forcefully opens the bivalve like this, and then brings its stomach out, and then sucks the total insect, a total organism inside the shell. Now you can see how it is getting its food. For the demo purpose, a opened bivalve is kept. We ourselves opened because for the demo purpose, but otherwise it itself opens the shell. Now, in between the two cells, there is a soft organism. Now, stomach is coming out, you see. The stomach is coming out, and now the stomach will get in touch with the insect and then releases lot of digestive enzymes or chemicals, and then makes the organism almost like a soft, and then it sucks the nutrients. So that is what is happening in starfish. It's very interesting where stomach comes out and takes food. Okay. So that is how there are different methods of eating in animals. Different methods of eating in animals. So what the methods that we have seen are swallowing, for example, chameleon; nibbling, for example, rabbit; sucking, for example, butterflies; chewing, of course, the cattle that you are seeing, maybe buffalo or deer, cow, bull. All these animals, they eat grass, and then when they take rest, when they are relaxing, then they bring back that eaten grass from its stomach and chew once again, and then they swallow. That is called cud chewing. So these animals eat grass, then when they are taking relaxing, then they bring it back to mouth and again chew it, and then swallow it. This is called chewing. Then the scraping that you have seen in the snail, and then filtering you have seen in the flamingo birds. Not only flamingo, even fishes also, even ducks also, the filtering method takes place. Then lapping, that is with the help of the tongue, the cat or dog drinks the milk. Now, the nutrition that we are saying, it includes 5 steps. There are 5 steps in the process of nutrition. The 5 steps are ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and agitation. So these are the 5 steps that are present in the nutrition. And how nutrition takes place in human beings, we will discuss in the next class. Ingestion means taking the food through our mouth. Taking the food into our mouth, that's called ingestion. We take intake of food. Intake of food is called ingestion. Once we take the food into mouth, from mouth, of course, through esophagus, it goes to the intestine, stomach, and from stomach to intestine. So in different places, the food will undergo digestion. Digestion means the complex organic molecules will be broken down into simpler ones. That is what is called digestion. At the end of the digestion, the simpler organic molecules will be absorbed into the blood. And then the absorbed digested food materials will be circulated, will be supplied to each and every cell. So there, that absorbed molecules will be made use of in building our body. That's called assimilation. That means the nutrient which is absorbed will become part of our body. So that is the process called assimilation. Then in the process of digestion, whatever that we take, we will not be able to digest. So there is undigested food material. That undigested food material which we cannot digest is called as roughage. So that undigested, unuseful substances will be sent out of the body, and that is called agitation. Okay, so these are the different steps in the digestion: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and agitation. So these steps of digestion we will discuss in next class. Thank you.